Now that the test series has completed, we can start discussing various topics, various themes that we can pull out of this particular series, certain lessons we learned, certain thought processes. Now that this has happened, we can look at selection, we can look at so many topics that we can pull out of this particular series that we can chat about on our daily shows. So we're going to be filling up a lot of shows with different segments. You guys will follow the trend. We try to bring you the best possible topics to talk about when we have them available. There isn't too much to chat about in the news early, but I will give you some updates on what is happening in South African cricket currently. And we're going to talk about this main topic. Was the test against New Zealand, the second test against New Zealand, one of the best overseas wins for the Proteas? That's a question that we're going to be asking you guys. We will give our own opinions as well on what we think. I want to hear what you guys have to say in the live chat. If your live chat is not being read out and you really want to get your question across, or you really want to get your point across, then get involved with the super chat that is available right now, and we can have that conversation. I will be putting it into perspective, trying to put the situation into context, because I think context is everything. You can look at it at various options, and we're going to be looking at majority of the options after this. So don't forget to subscribe if you're new, though. We're getting closer and closer to the 3,000 mark, guys. So please subscribe if you're new and click that notification bell. Also, don't forget to subscribe to Cricket Fanatics Magazine monthly. Every issue is 100% free, straight to your inbox every single month. The link is on the screen as well as in the description. Don't forget to smash the like button. Don't forget to comment. Don't forget to share. And also don't forget to join our Patreon account. It's very important that you guys do jump on board if you love the content that we're producing. You want to see us improve. You want to see us get better. You want to see us produce more. Then become a patron today. It's really going to help us on that journey to do so. The link is on the screen as well as in the description for that too. Basically, go to the description. Everything is there. Super chats are available. Let's get straight into this. I'm excited to talk about this because it is a different viewpoint from what other people think, and maybe it's going to open up some thought processes when it comes to this, or your minds when it comes to this. Let's get straight into today's content. A very good evening and welcome to Cricket Fanatics Magazine. This is your daily show. I'm your host, Khalid, and this is my co-host, Aditya. And today we're going to be chatting about the second test, but we're looking at a different type of view at point at this after the dust has settled, how fans are feeling currently about this series. Was the second test victory one of the best, or the best away test win for South Africa, at least ever, or is it the last 10 years, or is it the last 5 years? Is it just under Alga? What is it to you? Where does this test match win rank in your mind? I just want to know that from your perspective and what you guys think with that regard. But let me just set it up for you guys first and foremost. So there's many ways to look at this particular situation. We have to look at where South Africa are right now and what they have achieved with regards to where their team is and where New Zealand is, and pulling off a win to save a series and to draw a series after being completely crushed. Does that count as extra points? That's something that we need to think about. Then again, when you look at it holistically, New Zealand is looked at. When people look at New Zealand as a team, they don't put them in the category of some of the best team in the world or the best team ever, or they don't put them in that category of Australia and India and England. It tends to be those three and everybody follows almost in a way. So when beating them away, it can be seen as this massive achievement, which is true. So there have been some massive performances from South Africa away. They beat England at the Oval in 2012. They won by an innings and 12 runs. They won against England at Lords. This is in 2012 too. So that is also a massive part of our history. But they've also beaten Australia on a couple of occasions too. If you look at 2016, we beat them by 177 runs, and then again we won by an innings and 80 runs in Hobart, and then we lost in the final one against Australia. That was a massive victory. I still remember that one clearly. I covered it. Was part of the team that covered it. I didn't cover it by myself as a whole. I was part of the team that covered it. So I did aspects of the tour, and that was one that I always remember. Obviously, Elstein going down with that injury, his shoulder. That was always remembered for that. Then you can go ahead and look at maybe other series where we've won away by quite a few runs, but it never necessarily meant anything because we already won the series, or there's been other occasions where we've already lost the series and we've won away anyway. So we need to take all of those things into consideration. This New Zealand team, though, is the best team in the world, or one of the best teams in the world. This is not the same New Zealand teams that we faced before, because we've had massive wins against New Zealand in New Zealand before. Back in 2012, we beat them by 9 wickets. We went there again in 2017. I'm talking about the last 10 years here now. I'm not talking about since the beginning of time. So just before you guys want to crash my stats over here on what I'm saying, we went there again in 2017. We beat them by 8 wickets in one of the games and 2 draws over there as well. So we've had a lot of success in New Zealand before. But the fact that South Africa are where they are, not having their best player from the previous series, being in a transition, not having their best players available, losing so significantly in the opening match. This is also part of a test championship, so it means a lot more. You lose by so much in the first match, and then you come back and you do what you've done against the team that is the world champions. I think it should rank up as one of our best ever. I can't speak and say whether it is our best ever, because I don't really necessarily remember series as far back as 2006, 2003. Before that, I would never watched a lot of cricket back then when I was a kid, because I was very, very busy with my things that were happening in my own life. So I never really had opportunity to follow cricket. So I can't really speak about it back then. That's a little bit of my history that we can maybe get to in the future. I like to keep the secrets because I'd like to reveal them as we get to know each other better, guys. You can't just reveal everything soon in the relationship, guys. So you guys need to stick with me longer, then maybe you get more sound bites from my life. Not like it's really interesting anyway. But we also had a massive win against West Indies, but I think some people believe that we would win, others didn't. So there are a lot of competitions, test matches to talk about when it comes to this. I'm just going to say right now, I'm not going to be ruling, but I would love to hear what you guys wanted to say. And I thought that this would be a good topic to get you guys talking and debating about which is the best for you. So, Aditya, let's start with you first before we go into the comment section. What do you think, or where do you think this ranks in South Africa's test matches away?
Well, it's certainly up there as one of South Africa's greatest wins, given the circumstances of where it's come from. So I do think that it's a remarkable turnaround. If it's the ultimate, the greatest win ever, I don't know. I think even in recent times, I think the India series was probably more of a highlight to me. Seeing that they were 1-0 down in the test series, and then they came back to win 2 very high pressure games. And that's what makes the fact that this was a 2 test series such a regrettable part of the FTP, right? Because if this was a 3 test series, you never know. The drama that would have unfolded in that third test match could very well have made this one of the greatest series that South Africa and New Zealand have played. But I think from memory, the 2008 win against Australia, where they chased down 414 in Perth, where JP Duminy and Dale Steyn formed that partnership in Melbourne. JP Duminy scored what I think was in my top five greatest innings of all times. Um,
Oh,
in Melbourne, to really turn that series around for Australia. Then, of course, 2012 was remarkable as well. Where Faf du Plessis' epic saved that Test match in Adelaide, and then ultimately they were able to win it in Perth 1-0. And obviously in 2016 as well, where South Africa went in as underdogs, no David de
mhm.
Villiers, no Dale Steyn, um, and quite an inexperienced team goes there and really gives Australia a hiding in their own conditions. So I feel like those were more remarkable victories in my view. But taking nothing away from this team and the manner in which they fought back in this test match.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, and we can't forget the series that took South Africa to number one against England. South
yeah.
Africa, they've done well consistently in England. Over that period of time. Even when 2003 Graham Smith scores consecutive double centuries. I think that's stuff that makes up history.
Yeah, I mean, South Africa have had a lot of amazing victories in the past, away, at home, etc. So it's very difficult to rate things um, and put them into ratings and say which one ranks the highest, which is the lowest, because each one has significant meanings to different people. Some people will have an emotional connection to something that they've experienced maybe in their life that is attached to the win, and that's how you remember it, and then you always remember it. I mean, there's so many to look at. And yeah, I mean, 2000 they beat India in two matches away. um, that was massive, by massive margins as well in 2000. um, we've we've had many great performances against England away. Some massive wins over there. Maybe not always series winning, but massive wins. But yeah, that 2008 Australia, that really also determined s- the the switch in the levels. That was like a switch and a hello to the world. We are here. You know what I mean? And then obviously winning against England as well, massive when we went to number one. That's also a massive year. We are here. So there's these series defining, or these matches that are defining in our careers, in each Proteas career. And I think this could be something that takes South Africa into the next generation. This win could really give them that belief that they look here, guys. We are now taking the next generation and we moving forward. This could be the start of a new generation of Proteas team, or it could be a restart again, and we see a whole different team again. And this maybe is the final nail in the coffin for that. But either way, I think this did mean a lot to me. But I think there are a lot of other wins that people would rank higher. But let's talk about what this means to us personally. I'm first going to go into some of the comment section and read some of your comments out, guys, because there's enough for me to still get through it. So Rolando says no, the series in 2017. Bibek says Australia in 2008, 2012, 2016 SA Tour of Australia. Um, we've got uh, 2016, 2017 Hobart Test against Australia. Um, the Hobart Test against Australia. Wasn't that the one we lost?
No, that was the one that South Africa won. 85 all out Australia.
Which one are we talking about? What did he say? What year?
The Hobart Test in 2016.
2016,
It was the second
2017.
Test match in that series.
Was that the second one? I thought it was the last one.
No, the
Oh,
last one was
Philip.
in Adelaide, the day night test.
I got it completely mixed up. Yeah, we won by innings at 80 runs, yeah. In Hobart. And then Adelaide was the last one. Yes, I remember now. Sorry, just mixed up the venues and the places there. Sorry, my guys. Um, there's another one from Bibik. Okay, the chase in 2018 Perth plus 400 plus where AB scored 108 against the lethal Aussies attack was the away victory. Um, that was also excellent. Yes, I remember that one.
It started with the
Lorenz,
Graham Smith century, actually. And I think
AB
Hashim
just finished
Amla
it. Yeah.
put on a good score. And then I think AB scored 100 and JP Dumley scored 50.
Hmm. Yeah. Our biggest away win was Australia 2008. A lot of people are saying that. They like that one. But, where the teams were in that particular time and where the team is now, there is a massive difference between the two. Like, I don't think that this team was expected to beat New Zealand, though. That's the crazy thing about it. There are a lot of people that made New Zealand very much favorites to win any of those matches. We were looking to compete, and a lot of us were hoping that we can compete. Um, then after we lost the first match, and lost was hope was lost. Birmingham 2008 was also a great series win. Tess Boucher scoring the winning runs. Um, Oh, Cullen. I'm not gonna even read that one out. Uh, um, the MCG victory where JP scored 166 and Dale took a 10 for and scored 76 runs too was also a great one. So yeah, there's a lot of great performances away. But my question is where does this one rank? Seeing that South Africa is not the same level of talent as those teams have or had.
Sorry, I just want to comment on that MCG victory real quick. I was in the 10th grade at the time, and
Yep,
it was a Boxing Day test. So we were going for my
we watched it
for
in
a
class.
vacation, like a New Year's Eve vacation to a little hill station. And in those days there were no smartphones or anything of the sort. So I used to check on my regular Nokia phone. Send an SMS and I'd get scores response. And at one point I saw the first innings. I think Australia played really well in that first innings. Ricky Ponting, I think, made a century, and then I saw South Africa was 140 or 150 for seven, 150 for seven or something like that. And soon after, it was the end of day's play, and then I'd wake up early in the morning to check the score, and I see JP Duminy, and I'm like, good jeepers, this is a young player. How does he come in and score 100? And I saw the response to that 100 because all the players were not in the dressing room; they were down like by the boundary line, and Graham Smith and everyone just jumped in celebration when JP Duminy had scored that 100, and I thought that was remarkable. And at that point, I felt like, this has to be one of the greatest innings ever.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. And also to that whole series in general for JP Dumini, you know, it was just special all around, I
That's
feel.
that entire summer because
Yeah.
that year he signed up for the IPL, and I think he got a $900,000 contract with the Mumbai Indians.
Wow. Just crazy. It's crazy to think how things were back then, um, and how things have changed, and how many players have left. That's the main thing. And now we need to find our new heroes. So hopefully, this series, for me personally, I hope this series will be the start of the new generation taking over, us finding our new stars and our new heroes. Because I mean, Calvin Reina, for example, I think he should be very, very, very proud of his performance. Extremely proud of his performance. Um, to beat the world champions, to score 100, to help win a match like that, I think he should be very proud of it. Um, and I mean, JP Duminy, generally speaking, in that series, let's go back to him again. I mean, we know the story, about Ashwell Prince. We know the story about Ashwell, and when when Ashwell didn't get an opportunity, got injured, and he had to call JP Duminy to tell him. And we know how hectic that story was and how amazing that story was to hear that in action, and then to go to Perth and do what he did, and then to follow it up with 166 after that was just remarkable. But generally speaking, the Australian ones, it's nice, it's brilliant, it's wonderful, it tastes great in my mouth when I think about it. But the fact that we always used to beat Australia in Australia, like that's South Africa's thing. We beat Australia there, Australia comes down here and fights
And
against us here.
beats. And I think possibly the biggest heartbreak for South African fans would have been that 2014 series where they could have drawn it, but
Yeah.
in that last half an hour, I think It was Ryan Harris who, with his wobbly knees and what turned out to be his last Test match, produced the spell of his lifetime, and he took Australia over the line. And Michael Clark in Cape Town, he bats, with broken fingers and ribs, and scores 161. That was insane stuff, man. You couldn't make it up.
Yeah, it's so incredible. I mean, Test cricket to me is where memories are truly made and kept, because you know the dedication, the sacrifice, the hard work, the effort that you have to, blood, sweat, and tears you have to put in to
Yeah,
win a Test match, especially in
and and
another
I,
country.
and I think it's also a little bit inaccurate to say that Test cricket is slow. Like all of Test cricket is slow. Sure, there is more time in the game, and unfortunately, a lot of it is about the 5 days and so on. But if you look at the speed at which the last 2 days unfold, and you feel like there's nothing slow about Test cricket. This
It's
is
true. It's true to look at it. I think people look at the outliers in situations where there's like 600 runs scored and the game goes on forever and it's boring and the people are blocking the whole day. I think they take those aspects out of it and then they say, "Oh no, cricket's boring." It's like it's a similar statement I hear about soccer, like or football. Sorry, when people talk about football, they say the same thing. They say, "Oh no, but football's boring." Where you get a match where it ends 0-0. And people, a lot of people say in South Africa, like they compare it to football to rugby, but the football in South Africa compared to the rugby in South Africa, the level you're talking about here, you're talking about world champions versus like not even in the World Cup. Like that's the level. So like when we're talking about, it's a pity we don't have football to over here in South Africa to be able to, that is a good advert for football in the world, because the football quality is not as great as what we're seeing European wise and in other countries. So I think that's why South Africans maybe are finding football a little bit more boring, because I think majority of South Africans, I don't know. To me, it's a very exciting sport. You never know what's going to happen. Same with cricket. I think people look at the time and they're like, "Oh wow, this game is 4 hours, or this game is 8 hours, or this game is 5 days," and they're looking at it and they'll be like, cricket's long and boring. But ultimately, that's not how you look at it. And when you're there, the time goes by so quickly, you don't actually realize that you spent the entire day at a cricket field sometimes. When you're watching a game, sometimes you look at your watch and like, oh, flip, it's already this time. The game's almost done. You're like, sometimes you're enjoying it that much. And if you're looking at it, trying to invest into the strategy. Like what I love about this cricket the most is watching people struggle and then get over that struggle, changing the tactics, changing the field, changing the strategy, bringing someone in, protecting someone else. Why did this change in the bowling attack get this wicket? Why did the person move in the crease to try and get more attacking? Why is he suddenly playing more attacking, and why is he blocking out all day? Why is he leaving so many deliveries? All of these things are like thought processes about strategy that's what I enjoy. I enjoy the strategy of this cricket. But maybe that's because I come from a generation where we used to play a lot of strategy games, StarCraft and Warcraft and Age of Empires and Age of Mythology and all of these stuff. So maybe that's the reason why I like that aspect of the sport so much, is maybe because I grew up with those type of things.
Yeah, it's quite interesting. I feel like if there's one thing that world cricket could generally do to improve Test cricket, is one is ensure that pitches across the world are of a certain standard. There's something for bat and ball. Um, there's opportunity for all disciplines to make a play, and obviously the ICC needs to do a better job of marketing it. As
Mm.
does um, as do individual boards, but that that's important because ultimately look at all the marketing around the world. It's all for T20 cricket or the IPL and the Big Bash and so on. But Test cricket needs to be marketed better. The Ranji Trophy, how like I know people who follow Ranji Trophy on Cricket Info, but Ranji Trophy is not televised. It's not. You need to
Okay.
give
I
it a
can't
little
forward
bit
that
of
series.
glamour. Like you need to give it a
Yeah.
little bit of glamour because there's some serious performances there, and the quality of cricket is
Hmm.
seriously good. But
And maybe people just need to understand it more, Aditya? Like just understand what's actually going on in the match.
I think if if there is a better effort to improve the quality of commentary, uh, your visuals, you can color correct a little bit better. The aesthetics around the ground, can be a little bit more, lush green, and the stadiums can be a bit more aesthetically pleasing. I feel like these little things matter.
And I'm
You know,
sure, like, for example,
it's
Castle Lager can run like certain campaigns when there are people at the ground. Now, I don't want to be advertising alcohol over here or whatever. So let's use another example. But you can use happy hour, for example. If Calvarena gets his century by tea time, everybody will get a free Coke or something like that.
yeah, and certainly things can be done on YouTube, on Instagram, on social media. Uh, things like little things can be done. And if that happens, then you have more people following the game, more people taking up the game, and so on.
Yeah. No, no, no. It's excellent. There's a lot to do to market the 4 day game, and I think to do it to the generations, to to keep cricket within the generations and make it a generational sport is very tricky. Um, so to explain it to the newer generation, even though there's YouTube and there's Google and there's so many things for you to learn about cricket, I think what makes cricket so amazing is experiencing it with someone. I think that's where you make your memories. That's where you fall in love with cricket, is when you experience it with others that also love it. And get that vibe of going to the game, watching the entire game, asking questions. Once you I think people are scared of maybe asking questions that they don't know, or asking questions and feeling like they are stupid. And it's cricket is a type of sport that I feel that you can go with your family and go watch it and go sit on the grass bank, and you, if you're a drinker, you can drink and eat something nice or have a couple of drinks and chill together with your friends and spend the day there. So I think the way we market cricket as well on Cricket Fanatics magazine, we need to explain it better to the younger generation and let them understand what is cricket all about and why is it such an amazing sport. So Test cricket, particularly, it is a difficult part because in this generation where everybody's playing Candy Crush and stick cricket on their phone, people don't have really necessarily the the concentration span to sit through a whole day of people just blocking a ball sometimes. So we need to kind of
which
explain it better.
which is actually a misconception, right? Because we assume that a certain activity is going to take that much patience, but in reality, it's not. Because I think if we look at, I look at games that were played by teams to save them. Like you look at Faf du Plessis' epic in Adelaide to save that Test match. Ravi Ashwin and Hanuma Vihari saved the Test match in Sydney. That was so exciting. I feel like there's nothing. You go for your win or your loss, but when you're blocking all the time to save a Test match, that's interesting as well. There is an element of excitement there too. And I feel like a lot of it is at some level, people who want instant
Misconceptions.
gratification. We need
Misconceptions
to get
about
over
what
these
is exciting and not.
misconceptions.
Yeah. Because I mean, like, look at the modern generation. Like, I'm surprised that we had a franchise like the Marvel franchise, where movies are like 2.5 hours, almost 3 hours, that people actually sat through it in the cinema. It's crazy that in this generation that Marvel managed to pull off something like that. Because even for movies, people don't like to sit in 3 hour, 4 hour movies. When movies used to be, that was the runtime. Before, some people used to watch double movies in a day. Go watch two viewing of a movie in a day. I used to do that back in the day sometimes as well. I remember watching Leon Schuster and Triple X, I think, in the same night, if I remember correctly. Things that I do for my country. Didn't even remember that line from Triple X. But yeah, that was like when I was growing up and I was in high school. That was, how old was I when Triple X came out? I can't even remember. I think I might have been in junior school, to be fair. But yeah. Anyway, so like, yeah, we need to try and get that misconception erased about Test cricket and try and be advocates for the game. I think the modern day cricket, the modern day test match, like this one, for example, was quite an exciting one. To have the 300 score, then get a close to 300 score, and then another 350 score, and then so like what is nice about this test match was a very good advocate for test cricket because it was exciting. Even the India match, even though it didn't maybe end the 5 days, but the India matches in South Africa, they were very good advocates for test cricket. Look how it stressed and close it was and exciting it was. So I think that when the standard of cricketers increases well again, when we have a generation, golden generation like we do again, like, we're coming through a transition in cricket as a whole, where a lot of guys are going to be leaving and new guys are going to come in. We've just lost AB de Villiers. We're going to be losing Virat Kohli soon. Dhoni's Dhoni's almost lost. Like I'm saying, like in the next couple of 10 years or so, like there's so much that has changed. We've lost major icons like Dale Steyn and Jacques Kallis and so many guys that we've followed for years and years on end. We need to find that new generation of talent. And once that new generation steps up and shows what they're capable of, I really think that cricket's going to win the hearts of many back again. And yes, maybe the T20 cricket is a stepping stone in to what it's about, and maybe a little teaser. You could say a little trailer to what the main show is about. But we need to find a way to promote Test cricket better. And I agree with you 100%, Aditya. Let's get your final words, Aditya.
Yeah, well, I guess to get back to the main topic, um, this is certainly a win that South Africa is going to savor for a long time. And more than anything, I think it's going to give them the confidence that they can come back. They can come back from a, from a loss, and a loss as painful as that first one, to come back and level the series. So they can play under pressure. They're good at playing under pressure, and they can draw a lot of confidence out of it. Uh, but I think for the authorities, I suppose this series is an advert of the fact that a three-match test series would be seriously beneficial for test cricket. And I don't know who's sitting in those board meetings, but it would be time to renegotiate some of those broadcast deals, because both of these test matches were as interesting as they got.
Mute. Sorry, guys. Thanks a lot for tuning in. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Don't forget to smash the like button, comment, share, subscribe, click the notification bell for all future videos. Don't forget to also download the latest issue of Cricket Fanatics magazine. Every issue is 100% free, straight to your inbox every single month. The link is on the screen as well as in the description. We're going to be talking about the One Day Cup very soon. Try and get some cool interviews. Let's see what we bring up to you next week, guys. But this week, we'll see what we can also bring to you as soon as we can. I think tomorrow we can talk about the One Day Cup a little bit. Talk about what's happening there, the games played, players to look out for. Maybe we'll see. We'll see what happens. We'll see how the day goes. We'll see what news breaks. We don't know what's going to happen. So let's wait and see. But I really enjoyed this topic. If you guys can do me a favor, please, it will really help me a hell of a lot. That's if you can go to the comment section after you've watched this video, whether it be today or tomorrow, and just comment in the comment section and say what are some of your best test matches that you've seen South Africa play away, and put it in the comment section and say why. I would really like people to come back to this interview, this video, and go back and read it to the new guys that are getting involved with Cricket Fanatics magazine. So at least that there are some things that you guys can, from the fans in the comment section, that they can go back to and look at. So please go ahead and do me a favor with that. Thanks a lot for watching, and we'll see you guys tomorrow with another daily show. Take care, everyone. Cheers.